Civil engineering is arguably the oldest engineering discipline. It deals with the built environment and can be dated to the first time someone placed a roof over his or her head or laid a tree trunk across a river to make it easier to get across. The built environment encompasses much of what defines modern civilization. Buildings and bridges are often the first constructions that come to mind, as they are the most conspicuous creations of structural engineering, one of the civil engineering's major subdisciplines. Roads, railroads, subway systems, and airports are designed by transportation engineers. They are the less visible creations of civil engineers. Every time you open a water faucet, you expect water to come out without thinking that civil engineers made it possible. Civil engineering is everything you see that's been built around us. It's about road and railway, schools, offices, hospitals, water and power supply, and much more. The kinds of things we take for granted but would find life very hard to live without.
So now that you know the different jobs of civil engineering, then I highly recommend that you continue watching this video because we presented a motivational video for you guys to take civil engineering.
Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Don't ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. Let it go. It takes a dream to get started, desire to keep going, and determination to finish.
For every dreams you wanted to achieve, for every trials and problems you may encounter in life, for every errors and mistakes you did, never give up. Life isn't about winning or losing. It is about how brave are you. It is about you've never stopped to chase your dreams. Never give up.
Failure is central to engineering. Every single calculation that an engineer makes is a failure calculation. Successful engineering is all about understanding how things break or fail. So, set up your goal and don't let anything stop you from reaching your goal. Be an engineer. So now that you finished watching our motivational videos, then we will now present to you guys the specialization of civil engineering.
Construction engineering. So it is an important part of the construction industry because it provides much of the design aspect to the fields. It is a professional discipline that deals with designing, planning, construction, and management of infrastructures such as roads, tunnels, bridges, buildings, and other projects. So what are the jobs of a construction engineer? A construction engineer deals with the planning and design stage of a construction projects. They are the one who evaluates structural, electrical, and mechanical condition of each project. Also, they are the one who oversee large construction projects. So if you have the desire and passion to visualize infrastructures and facilities to convert sustainable projects and visions into reality, then you might wanna consider choosing construction engineering as a field of specialization in civil engineering.
Engineering is a career field that combines science and mathematics to create, develop, design, test, and analyze solutions to problems critical to society's needs. Engineers are among the most highly educated and best trained professionals in the world. Almost anything and everything man-made was created by more than one subsection of engineering fields. One of the main engineering programs that is used to build structures and systems is structural engineering. Structural engineering is a type of civil engineering, and the majority of what structural engineers do involve designing large buildings and structures such as bridges, The majority of structural engineers work primarily as an advisory to architects or builders. This means structural engineers help in drawing up designs from scratch and collaborating with other designers to guarantee that the design can and will function properly. These professionals must be proficient in all aspects of the construction project also, and with such crucial roles. Structural engineers are some of the most needed professionals in the design, engineering, and construction management in our society.
You might want to be a land developer, civil engineer. First, what is land development? Land development is the process of altering landscape so that it better meets the residential, commercial, industrial, or recreational needs of its. First, what is land development? Land development is the process of altering landscape so that it better meets the residential, commercial, industrial, or recreational needs that shape our world. It's a detail-oriented process that requires tons of planning. Land development is altering the landscape in any number of ways, such as changing landforms from a natural or semi-natural state for a purpose, such as agriculture or housing. Subdividing real estate into lots, typically for the purpose of building homes. What does a land developer do? Typically, developers purchase a tract of land, determine the marketing of the property, develop the building program and design, obtain the necessary public approval and financing, build the structures, and rent out, manage, and ultimately sell it. Sometimes property developers will only undertake part of the process. What is the process of land developing? Land development: acquisition of land with the intention of constructing utilities and surface improvements, reselling some or all of the developed sites to project developers, or in case of housing, to home builders. That's all, and you might want to become a land developer, civil engineer.
So if you're interested in studying and analyzing the earth materials and its structure, then geotechnical engineering might be the one for you. So you could choose geotechnical engineering as a field of specialization in civil engineering. So what is a geotechnical engineer? A geotechnical engineer deals with the investigation, analysis, and interpretation of detailed engineering design with regards to the soil. So what are the jobs of a geotechnical engineer? A geotechnical engineer deals with the subsurface investigation and field test and analysis of soil samples, risk hazard assessments, and of course, they are the one who make recommendations to the structural engineers. So if you're interested in studying and analyzing the earth materials and its structures, then geotechnical engineer might be the one for you.
So, if you are a type of person who likes to inspect the flow of traffic, designs it, then you might want to consider taking transportation engineering. So, where does a transportation engineers usually work? So, transportational engineering usually works and designs the plans for transportational system or parts of the system. They work on transportational projects such as highways, streets, bridges, drainage structures, roadway lighting, as well as airports and commuter trains. So being a transportation engineer, you could be a transportation designer, transportation inspector, traffic engineer, and traffic technician. So without traffic engineers, our roadways would be underdeveloped and safe while yielding high congestion accidents. So traffic engineers are really important in our public safety, and it has a lot of opportunities you can take.
If you are environmental friendly, maybe this specialization will suit you. One of the specializations of civil engineering is environmental engineering. Environmental engineering is the application of engineering principles to improve and maintain the environment for the protection of human health and at-risk ecosystem. Environmental engineering deals with technologies and systems which are engaged in reducing pollution. It also includes design, construction and maintenance of water treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, water distribution, and network and sewerage system. Environmental engineering is responsible to provide clean drinking water, safely manage waste, and clean the air we breathe. Some environmental engineers study waste to minimize the effects of acid rain, climate change, and automobile emissions and ozone depletion. If you are a person who loves the nature, maybe this specialization will suit you. Besides of being a civil engineer and an environmental engineer, becoming the one who protects the environment is one of the cool things. If you pursue the environmental engineering, here are some lists of government offices where you can work for here in the Philippines. Number 1 is DENR. Number 2 is DPWH. Number 3 is DOH. Number 4 is Myjildy. And more. So what are you waiting for? Let's go! And that is all for civil engineering. And as early as now, I recommend starting AMI and be an engineer with us soon. Thanks to National University for making us the best version of ourselves today.